Girl, I know the feeling. You're tired, you're stressed, you might be even angry, and you feel like everything you do is just not enough. You feel overwhelmed and it's chaotic. Let's take a step back, breathe, and let's talk about it. You are going to be okay. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Elisha, or you can call me Lai, and over here we do videos on self-love, self-care, and glowing up and becoming the best version of yourself. So if that is videos you like to see, then go ahead and subscribe or watch this one and see if you like my energy and my vibe. But today's video is on the anxious / stressed girl's guide to staying in your feminine energy. I love doing femininity videos because I feel like I have really transformed myself into this feminine woman who tries to stay in her feminine energy, who tries to eliminate stress. And if you guys didn't know, I suffer from really bad anxiety. And that's why I thought of this topic, because these are things that I have done / am doing to keep myself in my feminine energy. And I know how hard it can be when you are somebody who who gets easily stressed, who bottles things inside. I understand, I get it. So here are my tips on how to stay in your feminine energy when you are an anxious, stressed girly and you got a lot going on, girl. This first tip is for my women who do not allow themselves to be soft, who do not allow themselves to cry, who do not allow themselves to feel. The first thing that I want you to do, because you have a lot going on right now, you're stressed, you may be anxious, is to let it out and cry. Let it out, cry, you can scream, you can vent, you can do all of this in the privacy of your home. You can do this with a friend that you trust. You can just do this with yourself. Let it out. Crying does not make you weak. Feeling does not make you weak. Admitting that you need help does not make you weak, okay? I'm so tired of this narrative. I don't cry and I keep things inside, and I don't cry and I don't show emotion, that I am strong or whatever. In reality, it's actually the opposite. If you don't let yourself soft, if you don't let yourself have a moment of vulnerability, if you don't let it out and cry, you are actually doing yourself a disservice, because you're not letting out your emotions. You have all these things bottled up inside and you are gonna crack, okay? You are going to crack. Acknowledge that you're stressed, acknowledge that you're anxious, acknowledge that you need help. Scream, cry, vent, journal about it. This is going to help you become a soft woman, okay? Anytime that I feel anxious, anytime that I feel stressed, I literally have to sit back and be like, you know what? Do you want to cry? Then I start crying and I let myself feel. And I feel so much better when I do that. No, the problem doesn't go away necessarily, but this energy is just off my shoulders. This weight is off my shoulders, and I can be like, you know what? It is okay for me not to be okay. It is okay for me to be soft. It is okay for me to show this vulnerability, because in that makes me stronger. In showing my feelings and feeling my feelings, that's what makes me stronger, okay? That is what makes me a soft, feminine woman, okay? But also powerful in itself. Period. Next tip that I have for you is to create a safe space. I have 2 safe spaces that I love to go to. One being my car and one being the shower. The reason my car is my safe space is because I do live with my parents still. I do live with my parents still, and girl, I'm ready to go. But for the time being, my car is my safe haven. I love my car. I've made my car my own. I intentionally bought a car that I really like, because I knew that it is my safe space. I vent in my car. I talk to God in my car. I always pray in my car. I also love the shower. I love the water on my skin. I love, you know, the soap, the smells, the scent, the feeling in the shower. You know, I can cry in the shower. I can pray in the shower. I can exfoliate. I can do all of these things, right? your safe space might be your apartment. Set you up in a corner in your apartment or your home and have an actual safe space. When I move out, definitely gonna do this to actually have a safe space in my home. I just can't do that here because my room's small, but create a safe space for you. It could be your apartment, a corner in your apartment where you're allowed to cry, you're allowed to be, right? You're allowed to vent, you're allowed to journal, you're allowed to pray. You know, maybe add you a little chair, a plant, a light, like a lamp or whatever. Something like serenity. I've been seeing these and I cannot wait to do this in my own place. Oh my goodness. Your safe space can also be your bathroom. Maybe add some candles. You do your face mask in the bathroom. Also, walks can be another version of a safe space for you. Clearing your head outside, fresh air can be a safe space. There are many moments and ways you can create a safe space, but you need a safe space. You need somewhere where you can go to be yourself, to let it all out, to feel it, to, you know, just to be yourself. Even if you're feeling really good that day, right? You still want a safe space. Maybe you want to go to your safe space because you're like, oh my God, I'm so happy today. I just want to be in my safe space. Something that makes you feel safe, something that makes you feel like you are a woman. The number one thing that women want to be, number two things that women want to be is safe and secure, right? We want to feel safe and we want to feel secure. And the best way to stay in your feminine energy is to be safe, is to feel safe, right? And what better way to feel safe than to feel safe within yourself, right? When you're stressed, when you're anxious, it's so hard because you don't feel safe within yourself. You're scared. You're like, oh my God, I'm so scared. Like, you know, you're scared of the outside forces or just things happening, or like, you know, you're stressed about everyday life or forces in your life, you know. But to have a safe space within yourself, but also an external safe space to go to is so important, because as a woman, as a feminine woman, you learn how to be that safe space for yourself, okay? I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but if you never have a safe space for you and you have all these things going on, this chaoticness going on, you're always going to feel less feminine, right? The next tip, you need a practice, whether that be yoga, stretching, breath work, walking, meditation, whatever you need to do, you need to do it. My favorite thing to do in my whole world is to go to yoga class. I go to yoga class every other week, okay? I'm actually wanting to start every week now, because I go to the gym 3 times a week and then I go to yoga class on Saturdays, and I absolutely love it, okay? First of all, a lot of you guys live in really nice cities, big cities, where you can go to yoga for free. There are so many places offering, at least in my city, offering yoga, that be yoga in the park or yoga in a studio. A lot of places do that. Check it out. You know, go on like Eventbrite or whatever and try to see if there's anything. A lot of colleges offer yoga also, and then public colleges that you can go to and you can do yoga or whatever. It is a game changer. Oh my God, I'm gonna film a self-care video one day where I take you guys to my yoga class or something, because I absolutely love it. But yoga is my best friend and has been my best friend since I have been dealing with all my anxiety, right? But also something as like breath work, okay? When I'm stressed, when I'm not at yoga, when I'm just like, you know, I sit back and I'm like, girl, just breathe. Just breathe, okay? Just breathe, okay? This could be such a good practice. I know people who intentionally do breath work for like 10 minutes or like a couple minutes. Like, they actually intentionally do breath work, and it's actually something I want to start doing because I think it's a really great practice. The thing too is meditation. I used to do meditation a lot. I no longer do it as much because I found that it didn't calm me down as much as yoga started to, and as much as breath work starts to. But meditation is really, really good. Try it out. It might really work for you, okay? You have to try out a bunch of different mental health things that will help you, because sometimes the mental health thing that you're doing all the time, that might not help anymore. That might not work anymore. So for instance, I used to do meditation all the time, and then after a while that just did not work for me anymore, and I switched to yoga. I also love journaling. Journaling is a really good practice. Also stretching or just doing something fun to get your body moving, like walks or even just a fun like class, maybe like a, I don't know, some kind of dance class or something to get your blood pumping, right? Some kind of thing. You don't realize how much a mental health practice, as in moving your body or just breathing, can help. I know it sounds so simple, but it really does work. And I wanted to add this in here because it really is something that has changed my life this year when it comes to being anxious and stressed. Okay, I have an outlet, I have somewhere to go to, you know, for that reason. The next one that I have may require some work for you to do, but it's honestly so worth it if you can do it. And that is slower mornings, okay? Slower mornings. The reason why I said this might require a little bit more time and effort is because you may have to wake up early to implement slower mornings. The one thing that I hate is being rushed in the morning. And I used to wake up with such bad stress and anxiety in the morning, wake up with the anxiety in the morning, and then I had little time to get ready. So then there's more anxiety or more stress packed on my day. And I realized that just was not working for me. That does not work, okay? And it's probably not working for you, okay? It's going to require some type of effort. And this is why you doing this thing, you need to tell yourself that you are working toward bettering your mental health. You are working toward a better you. You're doing this for your mental, right? You're doing this so you can be stress free. Okay, this has been a game changer. First of all, telling myself that when I wake up, even when I don't want to get out the bed, because I wake up at 5 in the morning, even when I don't want to get out the bed, I tell myself I'm doing this for my mental health. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this to be the best version of myself. I sound so passionately, but I feel so passionate about this subject because I understand being stressed and anxious all the time. You want to tell yourself that you are doing this for you, okay? So first, you want to start waking up earlier, okay? Whichever way you have to do it. I have a video about how to wake up at 5 a.m. I probably need to do another one, but start waking up earlier. This is going to give you a chance and time to calm yourself down, time to feel, right? This is also going to give you a chance to add the gym into your morning routine, have a longer shower into your morning routine, get ready slowly, listen to some jazz music, listen to some lofi music. This is also going to make you able to like enjoy your tea in the morning or whatever you have to do, maybe even take a walk. More prayer in the morning, okay? Reading your Bible in the morning. Having a slower morning and implementing a slower morning in my life has been a game changer for me. I have had the best slow mornings ever, you know, prayer, taking a slow shower, long shower, you know, doing my skincare, doing my hair, putting attention towards my looks, you know, and we all know, if you look good, you feel good, okay? You know, putting attention towards my walks, you know, spending time with my dog in the morning, going to the gym. I have had the best slow mornings ever. And it really does help when you are stressed, when you are anxious. It actually eliminates a lot of stress because you're giving yourself the attention that you need. You're giving yourself first thing in the morning. You guys know, if you've already been in my channel, I always hype up waking up early and just spending time with yourself because that is how you give yourself. When all these factors out here and everybody's out here trying to take away from you, whether it be your job. I live with my parents, so I'll be having to get up earlier than them because, girl, I be stressed when they be asking me stuff. Like, girl. The next tip is very fitting. It's going to be to curate a sleep routine that works for you. This is so perfect because a lot of times when I found that I was waking up more anxious or stressed when I went to bed, anxious or stressed. We want to find ways to alleviate that anxiety and that stress so that we can remain in our feminine energy when we are waking up for the morning. So you need to start curating a sleep routine that works for you. Sleep is so important. Find out how much time you need for sleep, and you need to allocate and give yourself that amount of time. I know that I need about 8 hours of sleep. So I try to go to sleep at an adequate time, especially if I wake up at a certain time. I like to go to sleep by a certain time, but also making your routine very feminine, very soft like. So adding in those silk pajama sets, adding in a pajama set that's pretty, that you like, a color of the pajama set that is gorgeous, right? Maybe adding in a face mask. And one thing I love to do is have a face mask on and drink my tea while I'm doing my face mask. It is the most relaxing thing ever, but it also helps me to stay in my feminine energy. Reading a book, getting a nice book, maybe reading your Bible, maybe praying, turning the lights off and having a nightlight on. I know, like, a nightlight sounds kind of crazy, but my alarm clock has this little nightlight and it's actually really cool. It's like a glow in the dark nightlight, but I don't know, something about it that makes your space really soft, makes your space really just vibrant and bright, and just, it kind of is calming, right? Then having like music playing in the background, doing all of these things. Another thing to help you stay in your feminine energy when you're stressed and anxious is when you're going to sleep, try to stay away from social media apps such as Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. These are apps where you cannot really control what you are seeing, and because you can't control what you are seeing on these apps, you want to make sure that you're not scrolling at nighttime, just because that can cause a lot of stress and anxiousness before you go to bed, and you want to be able to eliminate that so you can wake up feeling soft and feminine, right? Apps like YouTube are perfect because on YouTube you choose what to watch. TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, you're kind of scrolling, so it's kind of hard to not watch the things that pop up on your feed. But YouTube, you actually have to click on something. So I do recommend that tip too, for your sleep to be nice and soft. So creating your own feminine slow morning routine, and then also creating your own feminine night routine is going to be so crucial and so important for you. The next one is going to be so important as a feminine woman, even just a version of creating safety in your life, but knowing what you need. Okay, as a woman that's always stressed, that's always anxious, I want you to ask yourself a question. Do you always allow yourself to bottle in all your emotions? Are you asking yourself constantly, hey, what do I need in this moment? What can I give to myself in this moment? Because a lot of the things that we may need, we may be able to give it to ourselves. And if we can't give it to ourselves, we can have a support system behind us, and somebody can give it to us, right? You need to vent, right? Do you need to journal? Do you need to cry? Do you need more love? Okay, some of these things you can actually give to yourself. You can actively give yourself more love if that's what you need. You need to vent. Maybe you need to call a friend. Maybe you need to vent to yourself or vent to God or whatever, like whatever outlet you think or you are thinking of, that may be what you need, right? Like I said, there are things that you can give to yourself, and then there are things that you may have to reach out to people for, and letting you know that it is okay to reach out to people when you actually need help, right? So paying attention to what you need, asking yourself these things. A great way to do this is journaling and asking yourself, hey, what can I give myself today? Hey, what am I stressed about? What can I give myself in order to alleviate this stress or to alleviate my anxiety? What do I need at this moment to make myself feel better? I know it's easier said than done, but a lot of us don't think about the things that we can kind of do to be proactive against that stress, right? So that we can stay in our feminine energy, right? The next one, and the hugest thing that I really need to start working on this year myself, and something me and my therapist talked about, creating a support system, right? A support system of friends, a support system of things that can help you. You should have friends and family that support you, right? If you don't have friends and family that support you, you probably need new friends, or you need to work on even just being a little bit more vulnerable and asking for help, or just telling people, hey, what's going on? Now, I don't believe everybody should be in your business or everybody should know everything, but there has to be somebody in your life that you can talk to, that you can lean on. That's what friends are for, okay? And that's what family is for. If you don't have that in family, you can go out and find that in friends. If you feel like you don't have that, then you need to start putting towards the effort this year on trying to meet new people. Yes, it's going to take some effort in order for them to want to, like, in order for y'all's relationship to get closer and to build. But I'm a firm believer that you don't have to know people for that long in order for them to become like your really good friend, where you have a support system, right? You can know people for like a month or 2 months and it feel like this is the best friendship in the world. So that is something that I'm actively working on this year, is making more friends, but also with the friends that I currently have, am I nurturing that relationship enough? And then am I also being there for them, where they feel comfortable to talk to me, but I also feel comfortable to talk to them? Because a lot of times you don't feel comfortable to talk to people because you aren't being vulnerable with them, or you are uncomfortable, right? Or maybe they haven't created that safe space for you. And if they haven't, then you need to go out and find people that will be that support or that safe space for you, okay? If you don't have that support, you need to find it. You are deserving of support, okay? A lot of times when we don't have support, the thing that people tell you is like, okay, so what, you don't need any support, like you're your support, which is kind of true. Like you should be there for yourself in a sense, but I don't think that you should just be like, take that and be like, oh yeah, that means nobody should support me, like I have to support myself. Like, you're not all alone in the world, and that's the quickest way to take yourself out of your feminine energy, is when you feel like you're all alone, right? So if you always feel alone, you need to start creating a community for yourself. You are deserving of a support system, you are deserving of community, you are deserving of friendship, right? And people that are there for you, whichever way you want, right? Write in your journal, what is the type of support that you want, right? Whether you need support with your I don't know, whatever you have in your life, what things you need support with, right? And then also write in the journal the type of friend that you would want. Definitely changed my mindset on like friendship a lot and community a lot. And I realized community is just so important to have in this life, because if you don't have it, you're gonna feel out of whack, you're gonna be angry, you're gonna be upset, you're gonna feel angry. You're not gonna be in your feminine energy at all, okay? So we are creating a support system this year, whether that's you working on your vulnerability with other people or you going out and finding friends. The next thing I want you to do is, anytime you are feeling stressed out, make a list of things that are stressing you out, okay? And then after you make this list, can these things be taken care of, right? Can some of these things be taken care of if you just put some type of energy into them? Maybe you need to, like, I don't know, maybe you need to do something, right? Maybe you need to write you a list and then take care of one thing every single day. I know it can be easier said than done, because a lot of times when I have a lot going on, it makes me feel like I don't want to do anything at all when I'm stressed about it. But if you kind of learn how to delegate these tasks and learn how to how to place them in your day, I think it can kind of alleviate a lot of stress, right? So writing these things down is definitely so important, and it's also nice to see it all on paper, because when it's all on paper, it's not as in your head and it's not as scary as it may seem. So then you can kind of alleviate that stress a little bit more, so that you can stay in your feminine energy, right? Next thing, this is like a really crucial part. Honestly, all the tips are really crucial, but this is really, really crucial in being a feminine woman, is to remove things. As a feminine woman, when you are stressed, it may be a signal that you need to start removing things, whether that be a friend, maybe a family member that stresses you out, a job, your environment, the clothes, clutter, whatever. You may need to remove things from your life, okay? We typically think of things leaving us and losing things as a bad thing. But these things can be so beneficial to you. They can be so good to you when you start losing things, right? Because sometimes you just need to lose them, right? Sometimes it just needs to go away. If you lose your job, if you don't exactly like your job, right? Maybe you need to find another job. maybe you need to put an effort to finding another job, something that's going to be a lot less stressful for you. I remember I had got offered this job before my current job that I have now, and I thought I would love it. It was like my so-called dream job, but it was mentally draining me so much when I started working there. I only worked there for like a month, and it was mentally draining me so bad. So I went out and I sought another job that I felt like would have been more for like that makes me a little bit more softer and actually had better pay, to be honest. So there was that, but I got better pay, and then it also made me so much more softer because the work that I was doing wasn't so stressful anymore. So I was sad because that job, like, I lost it in a sense because it just didn't work out, but I also gained something in return, which is like my feminine energy back, right? When I had that other job, I was stressed, I was anxious, I was just mentally drained. But now that I have this new job, I honestly feel like I'm able to do other things in my life. So my point is to remove things that may seem very stressful in your life. It might take you some time to remove it because you might have to replace it with something new, but it is going to be beneficial to your feminine energy. This also includes guys in your life, like any man that you're dating. If he is stressing you out, girl, he has to go. Okay, he has to go. Next thing I want you to ask yourself, and the last thing, is what do you need to add in your life? Okay, now everything that you remove in your life doesn't necessarily need to be replaced with something else, but some of these things are going to have to be. Ask yourself, what can you do to improve your life? What can you do to improve the stress levels in your life? What can you do to improve yourself? Maybe you need more money, okay? So maybe there are skills that you need to work toward to provide you with more money so you be less stressed. Maybe you need to pay off debt, right? So maybe you need to create like a debt plan in order for you to stop being stressed so that you can remain in your feminine energy. You need to add yoga in your life. Maybe you need to add church in your life. Maybe you need to add therapy. Therapy is a huge one that you might need to add. Maybe you need to add going to the gym in the morning because you know that that's going to relieve you from stress, right? What things in your life will make it more purposeful, and what would kind of balance out that stress and that anxiety? What would help that, right? Because in order to remain in your feminine energy, you're gonna need to add things in your life that's going to help alleviate all of that stress, all of that pressure, all of that anxiety, right? So I want you to write a list of the things that you feel like you can do that you can add to your life that'll help increase your femininity. Even something as simple as maybe a feminine activity, right? Maybe you want to do painting, maybe you want to do horseback riding, maybe you want to, like, there's so many things that you can add to your life. What are feminine creative outlets that you can add to your life that'll help you alleviate stress, that'll make you feel like you're creating your life, you're fulfilling your life, it's purposeful, right? Maybe this is just like activities that, like, whatever you feel, maybe you need to call that friend, maybe you need to hang out with that friend. It could be something as simple as that. Add something in your life that'll make it feel more feminine, that'll make it feel more purposeful. And that is it. That was my video on how to remain in your feminine energy when you're stressed and when you're anxious. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I actually had a really good time filming it because I'm really passionate about this topic, and I'm all about soft life. I'm all about remaining in your feminine energy and loving on yourself. When I create a soft life for myself, I'm so much more happier. I'm not perfect with all of these things, and I'm actively working on these things with you guys. So I just want you to know, anytime, if you want another like part 2, I definitely will do some more once I figure out more stuff that we can add to our lives to create our feminine energy while we're stressed and anxious. But I definitely enjoy this topic because it's something that I'm working on. I'm trying to figure out, hey, how do I remain feminine while I'm stressed? And these things have been working for me. So I really, really hope you guys enjoy this one because I really wanted to help with this, because I know that this can be a crippling thing when you're stressed and anxious and you feel like, oh my God, I can't even stay like soft or feminine, right? So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.